All things 2020 got directly in the way of E3 last year, but this time the ESA have pivoted into a free digital livestream. Time will tell how E3 even feels in a world of announcements coming in company-specific livestreams every few months rather than once a year, but there are certain ginormous, already rumored news items that would make waves regardless. I'm Scott from WhatCulture.com, and this is E3 2021, 9 announcements that would break the internet. Number 9. Final Fantasy XVI is coming to Xbox Game Pass. Although it's only been announced recently, Final Fantasy XVI actually began development immediately after 15 shipped, and according to various sources, it's ready to drop. Now, while Sony have apparently got an exclusivity deal in place for FF16, the specifics of this are already up in the air. A trailer featuring a PC release had to be deleted, PlayStation Australia's PS5 web store revealed it was actually a timed exclusive, and Square Enix had to tell IGN that ultimately they have no further information on if Final Fantasy XVI will be revealed on platforms other than PS5. Taken alongside the fact Sony have bowed out of this year's show, it leaves the door wide open for Xbox to swoop in for another timed exclusive release on Game Pass. With the PS5 not selling anywhere near as well in Japan as the PS4, Sony themselves coming under fire for moving their HQ to America and abandoning Japanese gamers by changing the OK button from circle to X, trust me, it's a big old deal, Xbox are reportedly planning something big instead. According to rumors, this plan involves directly targeting the Japanese market, and a Hideo Kojima game is also in tow. What better way to do right by everyone and make a splash than offer Xbox systems with Final Fantasy XVI alongside? Number 8. Xbox confirms SEGA buyout rumors. Speaking of seismic Xbox deals, the spotlight of E3 ensures the world is watching, and the likes of Double Fine joining Xbox happened only a week before Phil Spencer took the stage in 2019 to show off all their combined acquisitions. Point being, Xbox have been dogged as hell when it comes to hoovering up the competition. And again, besides this reported push towards the Japanese market when it comes to securing the next Kojima game, SEGA could help with that massively. Despite it being a terrible game, Sonic 2006 did launch as an Xbox exclusive, and with former PlayStation exclusive Yakuza finally appearing on Game Pass, it would seem conversations are happening behind the scenes. Going forward, the gaming industry is going to be all about monthly game catalogs, and it's on the likes of Xbox to nail certain bodies of titles down if Game Pass is going to keep its stellar reputation. Number 7. CD Projekt Red debut Cyberpunk 2.0. There are very few ways CD Projekt Red can recover from Cyberpunk 2077. Despite what many say, it is not a No Man's Sky situation. Hello Games' disaster was high profile, sure, but this was an indie team of 13 people getting carried away with marketing whims given to them by Sony. It was not a legendary developer already beloved by all, knowing things were unraveling beforehand and doing nothing to stop it. Regardless, maybe Cyberpunk is simply done in the eyes of the gaming populace, or maybe there's a way for CDPR to hold their hands up, show off everything they've been working on, and right the ship. That means an event where people are already looking to be excited. Whilst E3 isn't in person this year, CDPR could time the release of a major Cyberpunk overhaul for E3 weekend, either releasing or featuring the much talked about PS5/Series X upgrade, tons of already leaked DLC, and a sizable map or story expansion. Will it happen? Almost definitely not, but I honestly don't know what CDPR can do with Cyberpunk other than continue trotting out hotfixes and blog posts until they move on altogether. Number 6. Bethesda show Starfield gameplay and confirm Xbox exclusivity. Put simply, you don't throw down $7.5 billion and then sit on your hands. At some point in the very near future, in this case E3, Microsoft are going to start leveraging their Bethesda purchase, and it's likely going to get hilarious just how much then goes in their favor. We've already had a Bethesda blowout on Game Pass featuring many iconic titles now with HDR, resolution, and frame rate boosts, but the real head turner will be a showcase at E3. Here we should see some actual Starfield gameplay, another tease for Elder Scrolls 6, and maybe a Fallout 5 logo with a confirmed setting. Phil Spencer has danced around exclusivity by saying everything with Bethesda going forward will be available on platforms where Game Pass exists, essentially spelling out that their future work is Xbox and PC exclusive already. With the eyes of the world on Xbox as a brand and a ton of positive momentum backing them, why not capitalize on all that with some mind-blowing Bethesda-based announcements? Number 5. BIOSHOCK 4 gets a full reveal. It has been a long time coming. Now, you might not even know that BIOSHOCK 4 is a thing, being it was officially confirmed on a barely seen blog post, and it's not actually being helmed by creator Ken Levine. Still though, we are getting a new BIOSHOCK. It's been developed by new studio Cloud Chamber and started development back in 2019. Obviously, 2020 ravaged a ton of great studios, but assumedly this far on, the development team do know what the story is going to be, and what sorts of gameplay features will be present. To sum up, up, we've had the 2019 confirmation and a Take-Two earnings report noting the game is in active development, so why not show off what's going on? Number 4. Nintendo debut the 4K Switch with Metroid Prime 4. Another thing that's been heavily detailed across the board, from Bloomberg revealing technical specs to workers on the production line saying it's coming this year, is the still officially unannounced Switch Pro. Granted, we don't know the official naming convention of the system, but a notoriously cagey Nintendo repeatedly insists their Switch follow-up isn't happening. Why? Because they've likely got some major plans in store for both Zelda and Metroid's 35th anniversaries. And what better place to show all that off than E3? I'm thinking a full Switch Pro reveal, plus an anniversary collection of Zelda titles comprising Wind Waker and Twilight Princess HD. Then a full reveal of Metroid Prime 4 now running in 4K on the new system. Number 3. The Metal Gear Solid remake is PS5 exclusive. Now, I have mentioned Sony sitting this year's show out, but scouring the internet, it seems they've still got some seismic announcements lined up for E3 season in general. One of which, from something that just won't die, is the Metal Gear Solid remake, and it's high time we got eyes on what the hell Bluepoint have been working on. That is, of course, if the Bluepoint portion of these leaks is even correct. Most recently, we had Solid and Naked Snake voice actor David Hayter note that an insider friend told him the remake was underway. And back at the close of 2020, a podcast by Moore's Law is Dead also confirmed an MGS remake by Bluepoint was coming. Hopefully there's some semblance of truth to all these various stories, as Metal Gear remains one of the only major games of the late 90s yet to receive the remake treatment. It would clearly benefit from some expanded visuals and a touch-up to those core mechanics and control scheme, and honestly at this point I just want to know whether it's actually true or not. Number 2. Xbox Game Pass on Nintendo Switch. For a little while now, Nintendo and Xbox have seemingly been working together closer and closer. It started back when the pair joined forces to lampoon Sony for not allowing crossplay between consoles. Then in April 2021, Xbox head Phil Spencer included a Nintendo Switch behind him during a livestream. This led to known leaker and Xbox era co-host Nick Baker saying the cat was out the bag on the pair working together on something big, and that we would hear more this fall. With all that in mind, the most prominent rumor has always been Game Pass on Switch. With Xbox's cloud service working like a charm on Android, requiring 10 megabytes per second to function, Nintendo have already been exploring streaming-based alternatives to getting bigger titles on their console. Control, Resident Evil 7, Hitman 3, each saw publishers seek out independent companies to get their titles working, but strong player numbers confirmed people will use their Switches in this way. With Game Pass now being an app on your phone and Microsoft refining their streaming connection since last September on a mass scale, all that's left is to find willing partners to port the app across. And number 1, Rockstar debut a new IP or GTA 6. Rockstar have been away far too long, at least when it comes to wowing the masses with new ideas anyway. The last new IP from them was 2006's Bully, as LA Noire was something they saved and got over the finish line from Team Bondi, Red Dead Redemption came from Capcom's Red Dead Revolver, and Max Payne 3 started with Remedy. No, when it comes to in-house Rockstar-born titles, we have to go back 15 years, and that's besides the fact they largely sat out the entire 8th generation, only porting GTA 5 onto PS4 and Xbox One, then dropping the low-key divisive Red Dead Redemption 2 in 2018. Going forward, following the departure of lead writer Dan Houser, i.e. the guy that brought you everything you care about from the studio, we need to know. Is the future of Rockstar just more GTA Online and eventually GTA 6, or something else? And those are my picks for various announcements that would break the internet. Let me know your favorites down in the comments below, and please check out the WhatCulture Gaming Podcast. For now, I've been Scott from WhatCulture.com, and I'll catch you soon.